Okay, here is a tutorial that I've been wanting to make for a long time. I'm going to show how we can manage terminology using Verbingo. And this is something that is available at the dashboard level, which means anybody involved in any project, namely our project managers here at Verbatim or a client themselves under supervision, can do this in order to make the translation process go more smoothly. And it has to do with how do we make sure that terms get highlighted for translators when they're working. So what I have here on the screen is a dashboard for Franklin Covey, but I'm going to switch over to the translator's view. This is what a translator sees. Now notice if I open up this segment right here, look at what I see in the source. Notice that right now there is a key term here that we would want to keep consistent, and that is master task list. Now, Verbingo has a tool built in that can determine those key terms, and it's right here under this panel here. So anybody can do this by request. And for example, and all you have to do is click on the tab. And the first thing you do is select the file, the project. And this could be, I'm going to show you two different ways of doing this, but here you will see all the projects for that language pair. And you can just go find the one that you're working with. Usually the list won't be this big, but in this case it is. And here is the project that I have open. I'm going to click on it. And then I have these controls here for the number of terms identify, however many I want, but I'm just going to say 5. You can show then the type of term, a unigram, bigram, trigram, and what this means is the number of terms, like a tri-word term or a bi-word term. I'm going to look for, you don't want to go with unigrams because that's going to bring up everything, but maybe a trigram and something that occurs at least a few times, so you don't get every word in the whole document, but maybe something that occurs 4 times. So you can play around with these controls to get what you want. Then you simply click Analyze, and it doesn't take long before you get an analysis of these key terms. So example, here is master task list. Verbingo determined that term occurs 12 times in this document. Obviously it's an important term, so we are going to add it. And you just click. Daily task list, that's seems like another one. Let's add that. And then same thing with drag and drop. 4 times, it's good enough to be added. So now we've added the key terms. The next thing to do then is to manage them. And you click on the Manage button, and here we have just these 3 have been added so far. We don't have any other terms on the list. If we did, they'd all show up. And the next thing to do is to add the translation. Well, we could have a translator do this, but that may not be necessary because you can use these tools over here to bring up reference for existing translation memory. So for example, master task list shows up several times in the translation, and I can confirm that even then back with my project here in Verbingo to see this is how it should be translated, list principal de whatever. And so what I can do here, I'm just going to copy it, and then I'm going to add that translation here, hit enter, or maybe click somewhere else. There you go, and then it's going to be in there. Now what that does now if I go back to this, immediately, this effect is immediate. If I go to my project now, and well, I'm going to back out of my project, reload it. Okay, it was this project here, and when that opens, just takes a second. Then I will open up this segment again. Now notice how that term is highlighted. Not only is it highlighted in a very visible manner, but the translation is right here. You can't get it wrong any longer. And so this can happen, as part of the regular process. We can do this for any of the terms. Daily task list, it has the same, go through the same process. I won't do that here. Now that's just one way of doing it. Another way, let's say for example the term you want to put in there. You don't want Verbingo to determine it, but let's say you start right out by knowing the term win without fighting is something you want to put in there. Well, you can just copy it and then go straight into the the general terms list. It's called terms list, and this is basically where everything, all the terms get contained. You can just click on manage, and here we're right back into this list. Don't worry about that bug. And then we can just add in that term, and if you know what the translation is as well, if you're confident with that translation, you can just put that in. And I'll go back over here, put that in, submit it. A new term is added, and then you may have to, again, refresh it. But that term now is in there, and we can, you can proceed. Well, let's try this out. We'll close it just to refresh, and then reopen it. And this will happen on the fly while the translators are working. So project managers could be putting these terms in and updating them on the fly while translators are working, and before you know it, all their terms are yellow. Now this is significant as well because for like Kelly, when we are retro checking terminology for clients, we can put in this terminology as we know that it's correct, and then we simply go through. We would just simply go through all the projects and just just arrow through them and make sure that if anything comes up in yellow, we could double check it. I don't know if it's going to happen here with just those two terms, but there's a master task list that we saw. But then it makes it easy because we can flag. Here's one, for example. We could then double check this translation, make sure it is exactly correct. So the translations as they occur can be fixed quite easily through a review process as necessary. Obviously, we would want to do something like this before projects begin, but again, we have to include that in our process. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. I hope it makes sense, and if you have any questions, let me know. But otherwise, feel free to use it. The terms list will just show up in the project status as any other project. It's probably good to keep it hidden so that it doesn't get in the way and you don't delete it or anything. But here is where it will live, and you can see that we've added 12 terms and half of them are translated. So you can treat this just like any other project. Have it translated, reviewed, changed, just like you would any other translation project. So that's all I had to say. Sorry for the long video, less than 8 minutes. Talk to you later.